first community day of 2026, not counting the classic one. It was a couple of weeks ago. As you can see, I already have a counter of 1 because I was trying to work on some things though, and 1 just appeared. I forgot, I can't do that. Darn it. I keep forgetting to look up why, but yeah. Evidence. Okay. Usual though, as any mobile streaming there. Things will occur though, things might get cut, and we'll try to do my best though to try to get back up though within 5 to 10 minutes, so if it does. And people will be talking in the background, blah blah blah, cars will go by. So let's get on with this. I keep forgetting to update my screen on here. Oh, I didn't mention find time though to update the date. Okay. I should have really put a clock on here though somewhere. I do have the thing for it. I've seen in other videos whenever it works. Oh yeah, let's see what's in here. Brand new car. Ouch. Oh, lappers. I remember the year though where people were complaining because every time they got their 7-day box there, it was almost always a fur fruit. Oh, I hope it's a legendary though. Dog. Next week. Oh, I hope it's a legendary this time. Dog. I hope it's anything but the dog. Dog. Maybe a Pikachu this time. Dog. Ah, almost. Somebody keeps claiming this tower over here. And, well, I know that's the whole point of it, though, but somebody is basically watching their phones real closely there because I want to, since you can beat, it takes about 3 attempts to beat at least 1 Pokemon there. By the time I take out, was it 1 or 2 stages, I guess, of the first Pokemon there, that's already full health. I'm thinking, okay. Because usually if your Pokemon on the final stage of health there, the last segment though, before it's completely knocked out, usually you will get a notification saying, hey, Pokemon about to be on his deathbed there. And then you figure out what to do next if you have the golden raspberries and throw it in their faces there. Eat it! But usually it only occurs whenever you get to the final stage, the 3rd part there. But this person must be staring at their phones because... Where is it? Because I only got as far as the first one, and it's like already filled back up and say, what? And I had that happen before, but it was been almost 2 years ago where somebody was constantly doing it though, and I barely even get to pass the first stage. I mean, if you want to waste your gold berries though on the first stage of the health there, especially if you have a full thing, then go for it. Am I frozen again? It seemed like my thing was freezing up. I better check my status though. Oh boy. Dang it. No, you don't. If this thing gets any worse though, which is why I started about 5 minutes early, if this thing keeps getting worse, I'm just going to do a recording of this instead. It'll take like a gig or so because of how big the video will be. It's an hour long. It'll be shorter. It seems like every other day I might have a good day where no interruptions and such, and the rest is like, you will get your 5 minutes of delay, but my video is only 4 minutes. Exactly. Okay, who to Mega Evolve? I already Mega Evolved you yesterday. No, it was basically the equivalent of your sister, so never mind. But I need grass, so... Luckily I have a few of them though, but... Get my pine tree of a lizard over here. And like always, and since I can't search it this way, I'll have to do it this way. And like always, whenever we do a community day event, though, be sure to not only have your incense there, but also a origin form Palkia that's able to do spatial rend. That allows you to increase the distance for at least 10 minutes. It does kind of stack, but I never did get around to see how far it can stack. There we go. Oh, it was like 3 little monkeys over there. I thought it was funny though because when they first shown off the Galar games there of Sword and Shield, there somebody said, "Oh yes, we got a grass monkey." Meanwhile, Punch Sage. Dude, we had like grass monkeys before. We had like a grass monkey that evolved into a slightly bigger grass monkey. Of course, on here this goes from monkey to chimp to gorilla, but still. As a reminder, though, as far as I know, that they're no longer doing the special researches that takes at least equivalent of 7 days to get a special background. Instead, you'll just get it randomly. Bonk. Bonk. Also, a reminder, though, if you're unable to do the community day events, though, ever since last year or so, they changed it up though to where you can now get their the day exclusive attacks, so just by using the elite TMs, the elite charge TM or the elite fast TM, so that allow you to get their exclusive ability though. Example, I have a Dynamax Rillaboom there, so if I wanted to, I can go put that on there. And you don't have to wait till it's like community day event like it is now. You can be, as far as I'm aware of, that can be at any time of the year. Yeah, it's double of everything apparently. Tier 1, Tier 2, only because it was a global challenge. Okay, there. The specialty, I'm pretty sure, is the same as it always is. Yeah, Frenzy Plant. When it comes down to starters, it's usually the same specialty. Unfortunately, I don't have the Gigantamax up. I do have the Dynamax one. Where is it? Where are you at? It's here, I know it. I was here last time. Oh, there you are. Yeah, I hear that vibration because I have that set. Dun, 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 dun. Drum beating, huh? But yeah, see right there, so that. Right there, you can see what says Elite TM attacks there. There's a Frenzy Plant. because of that, you don't really have to do a community day though, unless you want to get a slight increase in shinies and the special background. Got this big on over here. No, I could have just looked through the regional Dex ones and stuff. Wow. Really, they had issues again with the whole Furum thing though with Basharim and Zekrom. Because they don't learn. Great, he went off again. Yeah, next month. Like I like when a mic is selective though. I was like, I said a full sentence of Anyways, if anybody wants to add me though, they're more than welcome to though. Please do note there's some limitations, especially since now if I want to send out and receive more gifts, I have to get just a right rank in the pass system. Either way. Let's see, how far am I on this? I'm probably like 70 days still. Let's see. 70. Huh? I was close. I didn't even look at it earlier. Now it's a 70. 71, okay. And what do we got here? I don't know. It looks like a regular one to me. Yeah. I mean, of course, the regular one is Mega. I already got a Mega, so I don't want to decline that. Where is it? I thought I heard one. Maybe I'm just showing things. Team Rocket disappearing without being there. Quick 10 minutes. The drinks out. Be right back. Do, 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 do. Some notice though there's been, depending on where you live at though, there's a slight decrease in spawning, and those that already had a bad spawn rate though, is getting basically barely one or two every 30 minutes to an hour, seems like. So even with this though, it seemed like it's taking forever. I might just cut this to like a 30-minute thing though, seeing how little there is going on. Of course, as soon as I come back, though, then there's a train coming. Why? All these bad timings. Choo choo. I need to change some more stuff up over here too, because I keep forgetting. It's supposed to be adjusted as well, the coloration though, because I think it might be a little too dark green. Also need to make my own version of the Pokemon logo there. Okay, I was going to do this up, but somebody needed my attention for like 5 minutes. Okay, let's try the Retro Cup. I think the first I ever did on these was like 12. And I kind of got lazy and mostly either got to like 10 or way lower than that. Hopefully there's not too much. Why am I delaying again? There is some lagging here. Granted, not as bad as lagging as last time I tried to do this though, where audio was good, but punch the dog, punch the dog. Oh yeah, well, angry giant lemur player. Yeah, I need to waste. Since most times people will use this time to block there, I'm just wasting time. Oh wow, really? Well, what if I wasn't using a fighting attack? It's just too bad. Never get to see the episode that involved Simeon though, because, you know, reasons, obvious. I'll use my doggy on you. When I seen it had like plant-related items on it, I thought, oh, is this going to be like grass? And it's like, no, it's just fighting angry human-sized lemur with a melon. Ha! That's a strong melon, by the way. Switch it out to a Vaporeon. No comments. Patooey, 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 patooey. Why is your water dog spitting on me? I mean, because that's what it looks like from this angle. Patooey, 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 patooey. Colorful giant patooies. I think it's funny though whenever people do artwork of the Eevees and the evolutions there. Granted though that the base one, of course that being Eevee though, does have elements of dog, fox, and cats though, but for some reason though, oops, I hit the wrong one, that's what. For some reason somebody decides, now they're all cats. Maybe 2 or 3 of them are cat adjacent, but not all of them are cats. Although I did see some realistic looking ones though, like the Vaporeon, where they didn't add exactly cat elements, but instead a mixture of what looks like a seal or sea lion. I was like, yeah, that's close enough because to some people there, some seals and sea lions do have a appearance of like a canine though. And they are basically mammals who live in outer water, so it makes sense. And they do give them kind of like a similar texture to them though, like how they would be though, look like they're completely smooth though, but further inspection they're actually just got very short fur. Now for some evolutions there, like Espeon and Umbreon though, they tend to lean more towards the cat looks. Although I think for the Umbreon, there was also some that did it as kind of like a fox. The only reason with Espeon being more cat-like because in some Japanese myth, though, there are those twin-tailed cats where they are singular tail that's split near the halfway point there, or completely two. I know it starts with Nyan, but I can't think of the full name for some reason. Mind draws blank. Of course, the Flareon ones, though, tend to be more lean towards foxes, though. Although, once again, someone keeps doing them as cats. But then again, though, like I said, though, EVs tend to be a mix of the three mostly animals or species. Unlike the controversy of the legendary beast there. Not going through that one again because somebody will say this, somebody will say this, and I will say, no, it's really. And they all throw the books on that guy. Oh, speaking about any newsworthy thing, though, in the past week or so, was it a week? Yeah, past week, as of this recording, though, that Lego and Nintendo finally released their information, and as well as images and such, and price and so for their new Lego sets coming out. As of this recording, you can pre-order them, though. It's Pikachu Eevee, though, the starter trio, at least at the final evolution forms, though, Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, as well as a box of gym badges from, well, the Kanto region. And as predicted, though, despite the fact that it's technically limited one per, there's already people going out there and doing a whole 5 times the amount, practically, it seems like. Like the one that cost the most there is approximately $600, $700 there for the trio. Once again, Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. They're looking about 630. I'm gonna round it off. I think about 640 or 650 though. Some people are reporting though that they are really looking at it on places like eBay and such. Are about 2,000. Why did you open it though? Did you breathe upon it though? You know they're not really out there. You can pre-order it though. Oh yes, but this is for pre-orders though. It's not really worth that thing though. I mean, considering a lot of the Lego sets though are just reusing their own normal Lego pieces with a few variant pieces just for the occasion there, you can pretty much just buy those Lego pieces and you can figure out which one goes in where and make your own. But once again though, there are some Lego sets there where they do have some specialized pieces. I did see some comments there where some people were like mocking Lego there on how Pikachu looks weird. Well, look at Mega Bloks. It looks more rounder. I looked at Mega Bloks there. It doesn't look too bad, but it still looks weird to me too. Eevee looks okay though, as best I could. Tried to get a fluffy look for it though, because the whole fluffy collar of it. Of course, gym badges no problem though, because they're mostly just flat. Except for in this case though, they have to make them slightly 3D-ish though, so of course you can't say here's a flat piece or deal with it. Also, in other news there, people scalping and such are what was it? As of what was it? Within the last week as of this recording though. Just to clarify though, the date is supposed to be 1/18/2026. That's why I need to put a date in there. I need to rework this so I can put a date on there. That there was reports and some news articles there of a break-in at a what is it? I think it was a hobby shop, whatever. There where somebody would go in there, or not exactly a break-in, but somebody was. Excuse me. 3 people came in there with guns there and breaking into some stuff. They're stealing approximately $100,000 worth of Pokemon-related content and other items there. And there was, at the time, at least 40 people in the store. I'm not sure if that also included the employees as well. But yeah, it's getting worse there where people are there was a lot of interruption though. Like I said, whenever I do these things, I usually look on my Twitch at the same time I'm doing a live stream of this. But anyways, it's getting worse though, to the point though where people are just basically robbing people at gunpoint nowadays, though, just to get their Pokemon fix. I hate to say it, though, but it's almost comparing to some attic. I need it. I need it. You don't need it, though. It's mostly random pieces of plastic, though, and paper with some visual art of some fictitious monsters, though. So, but considering that Pokemon franchise is among the top grossing in the entire world, so yeah, it's even higher though than Disney. Which is interesting though, because there are some other games that were similar though, but never got around to it though. I mean, Digimon is pretty big though, but not as big. I mean, it's kind of high up there, at least in Japan, I think, but not as high as Pokemon. Of course, though, I kind of wish it was though, because they have more interesting abilities and weird evolution branches, as well as de-evolution branches and alternative evolution branches and alternative de-evolution branches. Yeah, if anybody ever watched or read any of the Digimon related content, though, yeah, it's all over the place. Look at this weird dog thing becomes a cat, which becomes a sexy angel lady, though, which becomes a dragon-like thing there. Yeah. Oh, sure. They apparently like their pretty lady Digimons there, though, that came from random animals and so forth. And I guess nice looking humanoid male characters too, if you want to throw that in there, because there were some that just like would like get bench pressed a mountainside. Oh, we need more guns here. Evolving with guns. Meanwhile, Pokemon's not allowed to show anything that looks vaguely like a gun, despite the fact though that there has been references to guns. Considering Remoraid was meant to look like a water pistol, a revolver though, while Octillery was a tank. Hence the name Octillery being like artillery. There is somebody that watch on some of the YouTube shorts there that likes to use the beta / concept Remoraid as a quote firearm. So explains why I spit. Of course, there was one. What was it though? Oh yeah, one of those dorkly Pokemon videos though, in which one of the characters is confused about why does a fish becomes octopus. Well, if you looked back then though, you see. But yeah, going back to all these ridiculous prices because scalpers think that they need the money, and because there's people who are gullible and fall for that too, as well as those who broke it. Unless they manage to find some more camera angles there for the people who robbed them, though, it's highly unlikely that they will find them, though. They may or may not find the items that they stole there to probably resell them for ridiculous prices, though, because they need that money too. So unless there's some kind of tracking number that's specific to those particular items, yeah, I'm gonna wish them luck on that one. I guess I had enough of those. And as you can see, though, some of the effects on the Pokemon, well, abilities and attacks there are still having little issues there. Like, for example, Psychic still shows the grayish square rectangular blobs, or not blobs, but just shapes. I noticed that Fire Blast during max battles there just shows some weird, almost PNG looking flames, while in some normal battles there it looks correct. It's been like this for a few months now, at least 5 months that I can think of. I'm not sure how you got that off. Kind of always surprised though whenever I'm here to get the tiniest spot there for the excellent. At first I thought it was my settings though, so I did reduce the settings down, but no, that's not it. Then again though, sometimes the game is known to have issues with the sound, where after a certain amount of time, which tends to be random though, the sound and or music, if you have the music playing, will just just cut, and you won't get it back again unless you close the game and reopen it. You could tell, at least I could tell, when it's about to go, when it starts cutting in and out. Easier if you have the music playing. Uh, is that even centered? Actually, let me set something here. Stop yawning so much. Dang, also, don't forget though that this will come back near the end of the year like usual. Let's change by then. Why is it like... Oh, not you, not you. Not you. Yeah, you. Okay, I see what happened. Oh, no, you don't. And he stretched it. Now it just looks bad. Because sometimes the dotted line gets in the way, though, whenever you adjust things on the program here. Okay, pull this up. So because okay, there we go. No background. Of course, you would run off. I see one hiding here. There you are. Yay, shiny monkey. I'm just tapping it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not how it works. So far, no shiny monkeys there with the background. There's a Titan over there. Dogs are barking. These people don't even give anybody really a chance to get on there though, because typically you're supposed to have 8 hours to get your 50 coins there. But for the past 2 days, somebody with a multiple account, because I know they do that there, because I never really see anybody go out, or at least not that many there, would go over there, purposely attack their own one there, switch it out to the other team they're on, then defeat themselves there, and then switch back to their original team. Which makes no sense of because you can only get 50 coins per day, regardless of how many times you enter a tower. Especially if, like, for example, if you have Pokemon in different towers and you already met your limit, though, there should be no reason for you keep healing your Pokemon there because you already got your limit there and you're already in like 4 other towers. Well, at least it's not as bad as some people, as reported on Reddit, though, where they live in a small community type place there, and they rarely see anybody go to the towers that's available to them there. and yet it seems like that somebody keeps claiming them by the time they try to claim their own there. One person reported that they never saw anybody within the range, which in my case though would probably be a block and a half away though, because even if I was to go to a tower, I can hit the fight button though, and I can walk away though, and it'll still count as long as I don't get, like, for example, like about 3 blocks away. Then it'll just say, "Oh, concluded" automatically. But they said that, oh man, I need to plug my thing in. I forgot. Switching power. Anyways, and they said that they went to claim a tower in less than 5 minutes. Though it was beaten up. Yeah, probably beaten again, and their Pokemon were taken out in less than that 5 minutes that were in there. But they say they seen nobody within range. So the only thing they could think of was maybe a spoofer. Once again, I don't see the whole point of spoofing the gyms, even if you wanted to help somebody, because you still can only get to 50 regardless of where it is at, though. Even if you live in one town and you have to pick up something in another town and drop a Pokemon over there like 30 miles away or minutes, it's still only can count up to the 50 though, and then pretty much locks out until the next day. There are just some stories where some people try to spoof and get as many power as they possibly can to prove some kind of point. I don't know. 15% power. Sometimes I don't understand some of these phones. I know it depends on the weather conditions, if you can say. I'm going to do the Palkia one more time. There was about 1 minute left, though. There we go. It's 4:47 right now. And if I remember right, I don't think I can. I'm going to try to crop my video here again. Or uncrop it a bit. Where is it? No. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. That's going to look weird. Okay, there it goes. Nope. I knew that was going to happen, though, and I still did it. I need to make the title like a separate layer so I can overlap it. There we go. Now you can more or less see the time there. Okay, okay, yeah. So, note to myself so I will forget there. Make the border a separate transparent layer. I don't know if anybody can see the time now. So tiny. Let me look at my other device here. I'm going to squint my eyes like, oh yeah, she can barely see it. Okay, 448 there, 50% power. There are times though the top of the screen does not appear. Sometimes it will appear and disappear depending on what I do next there. For example, like Niantic's other game that they worked on though, Monster Hunter Now, it will always show the time and information on top until you are in a little battle I say, in a battle with a monster and such. Then it'll push it away there, hide it until your thing is completed or you get defeated. I'm looking at my screen right now though on the Note 9 that I use as a secondary. And even though it's a slightly different color because it's got this stupid tint on there, I don't know how I turned it on. And try to figure out, of the 3 green colors that you can see on screen right now, including the left side that I introduced like about 2 Pokemon Go videos ago, I'm trying to see which one would make the better sense of, because the one on the right side, though, where it has all the information there, the bright and very olive green, was meant to be like the nostalgic uh, DS Game Boy Color Zone. Of course, on my Note 9 though, it really looks really dark. Not super dark, we can't see it though, but it looks um like a brownish green instead of the olive green you could see on the screen right now. Like I said, there's like a filter that I somehow turned on to this phone there, so the color's not corresponding quickly. And I should have done it like 4 years ago. We never got around to it because distracted very easily though, because somebody, what was it? In a group, I think it was Facebook or what? No, it was a Facebook post there asking somebody for an orange animal there. I posted them one though. It turned out to be brown though, but my screen was showing otherwise. Anyways, I wanted it to be this original Game Boy Color green though, but without it being too overpowering. Like, why I feel queasy. Which I explained several times already though. And like everything else, we'll still probably do it though. Or not many people really like the what they call the pea green screen. That and the fact that it was not backlit, but still. Eventually they added that though. I'm trying to determine if I wanted to retain that though, but put in the new Pokeball designs that I made myself. I mean, technically anybody can make those particular designs. Or make it more, because the borders that I have right now on the right side are actually just somebody's vector renders there that was copied from the original. Well, I want to say original though, but I think it was more like the Game Boy Color screens where you could adjust the borders when they introduced that feature. The border that I made on the left side myself was mostly based on the a little bit later games in the Game Boy Color Life Advanced, and I think, yeah, I think between Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance there, not the DS, because I think they used a different one though. I know in some of the later games though that you could have download special borders and such when they had like Wi-Fi events and codes, lots of codes. I also had backgrounds that you could put for your PC. The funny thing is though, because I'm into older stuff, I was talking, well, typing, commenting, etc. Some people, there was a short video talking about a special Pikachu back in Pokemon Yellow, original Yellow, not to be confused with the Virtual Console Yellow, where you could get a serving Pikachu though, but the ways to get it, I want to say, depends. Could be easy or maybe a few extra steps. For example, by default, you can't get a surfing Pikachu within the game itself. There is a surfing area that you could use it at though, but to attain one, you would have to either take the much easier way of buying or renting, because there was video game rentals back then, like Blockbuster, or local rental areas. Anyways, get Pokemon Stadium there. I forgot what it was. I know certain battles and such. Anyways, you could attain a certain Pikachu from there. Then you can transfer it back to the yellow game via the transfer pack. Which, by the way, I've got my second one because the first one was technically a rented one, though, which I think I accidentally left my Game Boy Yellow in there. So, yikes. Why didn't you notice this though? Because, I forgot all about it though, months later, and the place was closed down since then, so I can't go back in time and say, oh, by the way, Fallen Oak could be in the house, maybe somebody accidentally threw it in the trash. I don't know. Either way, the other ways was going to a event, because remember, this was before they introduced the Wi-Fi elements to the DS games. So you would have to go to an in-person event. So there were some kiosks where you can put your game into though, and you could get a certain Pikachu that way. And there's the other way. The other way that I did it though was be lucky enough though to win a contest with Nintendo Power. That's right, Nintendo's own uh, magazine, which was made by Nintendo themselves. Unlike in Japan, where I think most of their game magazines were from third parties that was in association with Nintendo, so it wasn't directly from Nintendo themselves. You know, they do make playing cards. Either way, so yeah, that's how I got mine there. Was lucky enough to win the Surfing Pikachu there. But the thing is, though, once again, before Wi-Fi was a thing in the Pokemon games, you would place freight in them, though, and send it in the prepaid mailer. Just the thing, though. This guy thought, well, I would have mailed other things. No, they just wanted the game. But let's face it this way, though. If they messed up the game, though, then hopefully they can comp you back. Because back then, Nintendo would fix their mistakes or any other issues there, like the legendary Game Boys at the time there, where they did have repairs there. You can just mail it in. So far, I think you had to pay postage there, and they would fix it, though. But nowadays, good luck. Anyway, so taking my game cartridge, would have thought it would have been only last year. I would have seen it totally. That part was my mistake. But anyways, mail it off. Waited approximately about 2 weeks, so they would go and do it that way, and then you would get it back. Once again, already prepaid, and it would have the original trainer. I forgot who the original trainer was because each time you get a Pokemon from somebody, it's always the original trainer that would be from the person who, well, obviously played the game though, as well as quote NPCs there, because there's sometimes whenever you get a specialized Pokemon, it might have some connections to a character from the series, the TV series, or other sources there. Like I think with Ash Greninja, the original trainer was Ash, which you can only get that at the time though from the Sun and Sun and Moon demo. I don't know what I was saying that there. But yeah, once you get that though, you can go. What was it? South of Fuchsia City to the beach side though. They introduced the little surfing hut though that otherwise would remain kind of useless to you until then. And then you can play the little surfing Pikachu mini games. And since then though, a Pikachu with surf would randomly appear in various Pokemon games, like I said. That and Flying Pikachu, which is just Pikachu with balloons. And that's probably also the inspiration for the Alolan Raichu of surfing on its tail, because, well, not just because it's psychic too, but it also lives in the place that's their equivalent of Hawaii. Therefore, I don't have to worry about using a surfboard. Its tail is a surfboard. Although I still find it funny, though, that its evolution was the result of eating pancakes. Okay, remind me never to go to Hawaii and eat a lot of pancakes there, because I don't want to gain the ability to be psychic. Although it'd be cool, though, but I'm kind of also fearing and wondering at the same time what was in those pancakes. Special evolution, only it's pancake evolution. Forget elemental stones or other methods. We're using pancakes now. In fact, let's see here. Remember, right though, that yeah, this should be. I know they had a flying Pikachu in here, and it's indicated by the balloons, and I think their anniversary for it, Pokemon Go, is coming up soon too. I have too many Pikachu's, by the way. This is like how there's two different Detective Pikachu's that, well, does two different things, though, even though they look the same. Okay, there is the flying one. I know there is one with different colors balloons, but it was specifically to a certain region of the world there. Like over here, this is the one with the 5th anniversary. Unfortunately, you can't really... If I pull down, you can see it, though. 5 years. 5 years. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out. I thought there was a surfing one in here somewhere. I know there's one with present, though. Are you the surfing one? No, you are not. I have to go through all these. I went too far into the right shoes. Let's see, which one is the one with the present? I always thought that was weird. Because it's already 5 o'clock there, so either way. Okay, there's flying for that one. The rocker. It's the Mandela effect! I like how people keep saying about the whole Pikachu with the black tipped tail, though. There never was one. True, there's one now. No, there never was. There is now. No! Yes. No! Yes. No! Yes. Maybe. Possibly. Remember, ever since introduced cosplaying Pikachu, there is now a black-tailed Pikachu. So, only for those that still remembers falsely about the one that was in there before. Wait a minute, I'm going to look at something, though, in a Pokédex. What if I was stupid enough to get rid of flying? See, it does present. See, it does... Okay, so you can teach it surfing, though, so... I wasn't in Fallout. I'm trying to remember present, though. I don't recall a Pikachu in-game. I know there's been artwork where Pikachu was dressed up as, like, Santa there to give out presents there, but I don't think there was a Pokemon game where it used present. I'm going to look it up later, though. I would look it up now, but the way this program is I'm using to record doesn't like it when I even glance wrong at opening at a window. It probably act up, though, even if I was to actually look at a real window. Okay, well, that is all for the community day featuring Grookey there. Time to go and evolve. Evolve, yeah. I almost said evolve, didn't I? Also, this is the first time I ever got that shiny one, though, for Grookey there, because, well, it is. Because you can see I never had a shiny prior. Why does Thwacky normal color looks like the shiny Grookey? And who comes up with these names? Okay. You have stats. What about you? You have better stats. Wah. Okay, here we go. Evolution. So ignore that shadow. I don't know. What's the deal with that shadow still? For those that don't know, that for some reason your buddy's shadow, in this case the Shroodle, will appear during evolution screens. Sometimes it may even appear in your buddy screens, which is weird in its own. No. But yeah. I keep forgetting to take photos of it. Can I still do it though? No, I cannot. But yeah, for some reason your buddy's shadow will appear and I have an idea. No, really, I have an idea. It's right in my hand. Can you believe that? Yay! I can't take a photo of this? Yeah, I don't know why they had an update for this, and I can't take screenshots while I'm using the Samsung Smart one, though. So I can take screenshots by holding the volume down and power button at the same time, but the screenshot button itself is nowhere to be found. Let's see, can I pull this up? Yeah. If you look on the lower bottom, though, you can't see the option for it because it would have been on the bottom far left. Okay, where's Thwacky again? Evolution time. Yeah. Hmm. Does give a shrub look to it. Although I feel like that it should have like a little bit of the more fall foliage in there. This one's not too much difference, so. Of course, when it comes in shiny there. Why do you have scratch? That's like the weakest thing there. I'm gonna give you like razor leaf or something. Oh, I hit the wrong button again. I was looking at one button and I hit that. There we go. I mean, there was only two options for that one. Yeah, I bet if I go over there now, they're like, no, you can't do that. Ongoing. I really wish they incorporated Campfire to the Monster Hunter Now game as well. Okay, so as you can probably better see, I will have to once again rework this layout better to make it more transparent. Keep the greenish back. Anyways, as you can see, it's already 5:07, which means for the majority of the part there, the actual capturing wild little monkeys there are done with though. But you still have an additional 2 hours though till the event is officially completely over with. Oh yeah, that one there. Where is it? Yeah. As of this recording, though, it would have been about approximately 4 hours, though, because it's at 10 o'clock. Can I count? No, it's 6 o'clock. Oh, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Either way, yeah, that would be about 9 o'clock. Regardless, though, we have till 9 local time PM. That made no sense, but you know. And that is pretty much it. It's a little cheaper. So I only managed to get 2 little monkeys here. Oh yeah, I better get my bright ID over here. That's a square for some reason. That's weird. I don't know why though, but what was it? About 3 months ago, there was a little graphical error that whenever you threw a Pokeball, it actually emitted light corresponding to the color of the ball. I thought it was pretty cool though, especially at nighttime. You just got this glowing orb there. The ball wasn't glowing itself; it just emitted light on the ground. So if I threw the Great Ball or the Ultra Ball, the light on the ground would just be like that. I mean, yeah. Okay, well, as you can see though, my power here in the upper right corner, faintly though, is very extremely low. Because sometimes power can, like I said, go fast. Sometimes it can last like an hour. And there's cases where like 10% will either equal up to 25 minutes or 25 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here and charge up this phone. I'll be back next time with another game of sorts. So also be sure to look at the Pokemon Community Day playlist here on YouTube. I do want to warn though that some older ones will have various sound being higher and lower though, as well as some lagging issues though that wasn't in my control there because the game runs fine and just like I can't prove that otherwise because when playing though and live streaming that sometimes things will hate each other. Either way, like what you see, more than welcome to follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube if you feel like it though, not a must. Also, if wondering about the team I'm currently anyways, the following team that I'm currently in cooperation with or working with though, the little credit show on my Twitch side of things as this is recording though, in the about section you can click on that though and see other members of the team that also deals with video games, art, VR chat, and the like though. They do come at different times of the day because different parts of the world. And with that being said, and all the fun quotes that people like to say as well, that is all for now. Thanks for watching, and something. Okay, there we go. This thing's gonna fall. So anyways, later